Welcome, Japan.
Welcome to another edition of Why Come Japan. I'm your host, Mr. Radrio, where I interview creatives about their craft and how it relates to Japan. And today on my show is the Red Value, TikToker, YouTuber. We should just call each other content creators at this point.
Yeah, the
It's
dreaded
kind of like
influencer word.
it might even get to that point at some point because we seem like we have to pivot every 5 years now.
Exactly. Every 5 years, every 2 years, it's gonna get faster. Next time we'll be switching social media channels every month, and every single time our follow counts were set to zero.
I don't know if how long you've been following my channel and how long I've been doing this, but I've been doing this for since 2009.
Yes. Let's go over what I know about you if you want to do that.
Sure.
First time I got in contact with you was through you appearing on a 2.5 Oyaji's live stream by Gimme a Break Man and Hiko Simon.
Oh boy.
I
Yeah, I
think you
remember that
appeared
one.
in there, or you were one of them. So I heard about you some time ago already. But because you recently did quite a few interviews of creators that I watched myself, Mayday-san, Asagi, Chris Broad, and the Sawata guy. That was hilarious. That was a great one. I just kind of found you interesting at that point, and now followed your channel. And that's what I know about you. And then afterwards, I looked at some of your older stuff as well, and I found that quite intriguing. It's like a time machine now, seeing how stuff was back then.
Yeah, it was much easier to be a J vlogger. I mean, like you had to put as little effort as possible into it. Now you got to put you're against what is it? A broad in Japan level type content. You have to that's like such a hard act to follow. So I don't even know how to even beat that one at this point.
Well, we can talk about that. How do you beat high profile, high level content? And the answer is niching. You have to find something that only you do well, and create their kind of audience on that. And the way the algorithm works is that they favor this.
Right.
But if you do want to be a general kind of vlogger, yes, the competition is going to be very, very fierce. Generally, what I've recently noticed I've been having a lot more success on TikTok, and I barely put in any effort at all in TikTok. Like, you can't begin to compare it with the effort I put into YouTube. I mean, at YouTube, I'm just about to hit 800 subscribers. And that is, how do you say? That took me an insane amount of hours to get there. If I use my Japan channel only, that's around 60 videos. And if I take in my gaming channel as well, that's another 50 videos. So I'm at around 110 videos now. And each one took me at least 20 hours of full productive work to do. And that's 2,200 hours of work for 800 subscribers. Yet on TikTok, I started in March. I'm at around 4,000 subscribers now, 5 times as much. And the amount of effort I put into it, well, barely any. I have a video that has 500,000 views, where it's 3 seconds long, and I just run into a kitchen room and say, "Oh honey, what's for breakfast?" in Japanese, "Okusan, bangohan nani?" And then a joke afterwards happens. And I've done that multiple times now. It's really successful most of the time, and it's barely any effort. So why is it that a low effort video gets more following than a high effort one? So what is behind that?
I'm asking myself that question all the time. I don't know. Maybe it's just YouTube. The system's broken now. No. All right. Well,
half it can.
What do you think?
Yes. So the key point is that all of what social media does, keyword social, they are selling a human connection. So what does it happen? What does it mean if I put in a fuck ton amount of hours into a video? It means, hey, you know what? I want to be the super. It can kind of give off a feeling of, hey, I want you to subscribe and follow me and love me, and then give me money so I can fund my extravagant J-blogging lifestyle. It can be a bit, if you edit a lot, if you try really, really hard with your videos, it can come off psychologically as needy. It's something where I want your subscription so badly. I need to fill out my video with certain checkboxes. And the way social media is right now, the way YouTube, Instagram is right now, is that it has come to a single point, is that we sell human connections. So when I over edit, or let's just say edit or put in too much effort into my videos, it gives us a little bit of a weird kind of feeling. It's not like you're in the moment sharing a kind of fun moment with someone else. It's more like you're trying to put on a show. And that is exactly what the algorithms go right now. They sell a human connection. So for me, TikTok has been me just letting go. Let's just say letting go of trying too hard. For me, I just saw TikTok as an opportunity. You know what? Let's just have as much fun as possible with my videos, and that's the key point. It's a different psychological state of being, if you go into that, and it's a much more kind of attractive thing. Many people on TikTok and YouTube have been saying, "Oh, look, my videos where I put in zero effort have been doing much better than the ones where I put in lots of effort." And it boils down to human connection.
Huh. So you're pretty much saying YouTube's not fun anymore. Can I say that?
Yes and no, yes and no, but yeah, pretty much. And in that case, I once again, I actually talked about Mayday-san about this, and he said the same thing as well. Is that just letting go and having fun is the way to go right now, and that's also what I've been doing. What I basically did with my last video, the one you saw yesterday, where I just said, you know what, I'm just going to sit myself down exactly like this. I think I turned the camera up a little bit this way, and then I just talked for 30 minutes about a topic that I cared about. And of course, I cut it down afterwards, put in some B-roll and what's it not. But I focused on having fun during the whole creative process. And it's already at 16 or 17 likes, and that's really good for me. I mean, I even gave you 5 subs, and well, how? I never felt like I could do that kind of stuff. And now all of a sudden, I seem to be able to. And that's great. The feedback has been really positive. And it's just me letting go and just having fun.
You kept mentioning the word machine learning when we were talking in private. What do you
Yeah.
mean by that? Like machine learning?
Uh, So machine learning. So some of the stuff about authenticity is and niching is exactly explained by how machine learning works. So I think we wanted to get into a point about talking about TikTok and stuff, or in a way. And that is the work that I do. I work in cloud and machine learning. I work as a consultant in cloud and machine learning topics. And I was telling you earlier about that authenticity is most important when making videos, like with TikTok and stuff. And that is because the way machine learning works. So, what do you know about machine learning? Let's just try to figure out the point where we can start off.
Machine learning is when you learn about a machine and how it works. Like when you push a button on it.
Artificial intelligence.
Okay, it's just artificial intelligence, AI.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
You know how the algorithms work. They don't work by they don't work by someone saying, oh no. They don't work by someone telling the program, okay, if this video is 5 minutes long and someone watches 3 minutes videos, we're gonna make it go viral. They don't work like that anymore.
Oh.
So it's a bit how machine learning works right now is that why I wanted to talk to you about that is because I didn't think we went too much into TikTok and how the algorithm works, but generally what happened is the algorithms, they look at data. They predominantly look at data. And then they're able to see, they look at the input parameters. So they have the input and output parameters. The output parameter, the one thing they want, of course, is to have you engage as long as possible, right?
Right.
And then the input parameters are all the things that go into the video. What kind of information does it have? The kind of likes, views, view time, and shares, and everything else that you put into the video. You put that in. And now what you do is you give an input and say that's the output it received. And then you just let the machine decide which one is a good video. And the key trick is machine learning, basically, the key point is you want, if once video is out, you want to be able to figure out if it's a good video. And you want to figure it out before it gets shown to millions of people, right? So how do you decide what a good video is?
Right.
And because
I don't know. I mean, what do you? How do you decide what a good video is?
the thing is, everybody has a different idea for what a good video is, right? As well.
Right. Well, it's very
So,
subjective, right?
for example, for me, I'm not going to be the guy who looks at makeup tutorials, and some other people might not look at gaming videos. So everyone has their own interests. And how do you match the person to the video? How do you match
Uh,
the correct person with the correct video?
Marketing. I don't know. I wouldn't
How do you
know.
figure out who is who?
I
And
guess
the
this is where
answer,
like this is the world we live in nowadays, where you have to like find your own communities. Is that what you're trying to
and
say?
so basically what it works. I wanted to go a little bit into the kind of mathematics behind it. Basically, do you know what a matrix multiplication is?
Matrix multiplication. It's not the movie starring Keanu Reeves or anything.
No, no.
No.
Basically, the key trick is what you can imagine every single video to do. You want to be able to kind of map, first of all, who watches which video, who will like which video, and you
Hmm.
also want to kind of figure out which video is actually good. So, for example, I like Japan vlogs. Of course, I'll still watch some of the Japan vlogs that are not like super amazing, but still good, but still interesting to me. But I'll especially want to watch those amazing, best Japan videos out there.
Right.
But some other people might only like to, for example, to see the best Japan videos out there because they're not too deep into Japan vlogs. So the key point is you kind of want to find a situation where you can figure out who likes what. And the idea behind it is to create a series of number for every single user and every single video and match them together.
Okay.
And you can do that. So, for example, every single channel gets a set of, let's say, 200 numbers.
Okay.
If we can do it easily, let's say every single one of our channel has 3 numbers. So let's just give it as an example. Let's say I want to view something, Nico. Nico, I want to go on watching videos. Then there is Radri, and he wants to watch something. Let's third person, Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth now also wants to go and watch something. And now that's us here. I
Okay.
wonder if you can see this well.
I can see it.
That's what. That's why. Yeah, you have 3 numbers. Okay, Nico, Radri, and Chris Hemsworth. And now we can match that to videos, and we'll just write down some videos up top here.
Hmm.
So let's say there is a video, Japan Vlog 1, J Vlog 1. Then there is a J interview. You know, there's like tons of interview channels. And then there is a trailer to Men in Black. And
All right.
let's just say me and Chris Hemsworth, we are kind of in the roughly same time zone, probably not. And we're watching YouTube later at night. Me and Chris Hemsworth, we're just watching YouTube videos and we're just clicking through some stuff. And basically, I'm super into the J vlogs. Let's say I have a rating for 5 in here, and the J interviews I'm like at 4.
Okay.
For the J vlog, I'm like at 5. For the J interview at 4, and the new trailer for Men in Black, I'm not a really big movie fan. I don't like that so much.
Okay.
Right? You see that here.
Right.
So that's what YouTube algorithm determines my rating for these videos to be. They'll do that. They do this automatically now. So they take in your view count, your likes, your comments. They take that into account. And now, let's say Chris Hemsworth. He hates J vlogs. He hates them. They are a 1 for him. But he kind of likes interviews a little because the people in there are funny. But of course, he's gonna love the new trailer to Men in Black because he's in it. Right? So that is
Right.
his ratings.
Hmm.
Okay. So why did I not put in Radri's numbers here yet? Why are they not here yet? Well, because Radri is right now asleep, and
All right.
once he wakes up, he wants to see videos that he likes, and the YouTube algorithm needs to determine which videos he likes. And so the assumption is here that I'm the one that I'm going to throw out now is that Radri is probably going to be more similar to Nico than to Chris Hemsworth
Hmm.
because he is also a huge Japan fan, loves Japan and Japanese food and everything. He's like we are going to assume that like just us. I'm just going to say we are going to assume Radri likes similar stuff to Nico. So
Right.
now we need to figure out a system. How can we make it so the system can decide the similarity between Nico and Radri or Nico, Radri, and Hemsworth? Okay, So what happens? How the algorithm works, every single user, every single one of them, every single person and video gets a set of numbers. So in my case, let's say, keep it simple. I have 3 numbers between 0 and 1. And I'm just going to put in randomly 0.7, 0.2, 0.3. And Chris Hemsworth has something different, 0.1, 0.3, 0.4. And you see those numbers?
Okay.
Yeah. What do those mean?
I have no idea.
What is? I don't either. Literally. The person who programs the machine learning doesn't know what each individual number means.
All right.
We can kind of sometimes figure out. So, and now what happens is every single other person, also every single video, also gets a set of 3 numbers, as an example.
Okay.
Much more usually. Let's say for JVlog, that's 0.2, 0.3, 0.5. For the J interview, it's going to be something similar. So it's 0.3, 0.3, 0.3, not too far away. And Men in Black is just going to be 0.8, 0.9, and 0.3. Can you kind of read that?
Kind of. It's a little blurry, but yeah.
So what you do now is you add the numbers, you multiply the numbers and add them together.
Okay.
Right. So in this case, you see I have a 0.7, 0.2, 0.3. So I multiply them with each one of these numbers here. So in this case, I get a 0.7 times 0.2 plus 0.2 times 0.3 plus 0.3 times 0.5. All right. It's getting a bit tricky now, right?
Yeah, I'm
becomes
starting to
tricky
feel like
follow.
either A, I'm really stupid at math, or B, I haven't figured out, there is no logic behind it.
This is so basically what I do is I take these numbers, these 3 numbers, and multiply them with these 3 numbers. That's called a scalar product. And out of that, I get a sum.
All right.
And out of that, I get a sum.
Okay.
And in this case, the sum, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say the sum is 4.
All right.
So my numbers multiplied with the numbers of the video give me a 4. But in reality, I actually rated this video as 5. So what the machine learning algorithm now does is it changes some of these numbers just slightly. So this becomes a 5. It basically tries to figure out, it gives you a set of numbers and it changes them based on what your preferences are. And it matches you to videos. Okay, so the trick is, so you can kind of follow that. It tries to match those numbers to your actual rating.
Right. Yeah, I'm starting to follow.
Okay, so now I'm, like I said earlier, Randry and what's it called? Nico are rather similar. That's what we assumed. So what do you think Randry's numbers are going to be?
Similar to yours?
Exactly. So can you see the point now? Based on what I voted, the YouTube algorithm can now, because I woke up earlier, I'm just watching YouTube, you're still asleep, you want to watch something afterwards. If it saw that I like these videos and it knows that our numbers are similar, it's going to start pushing these 2 videos to you. It's not going to start pushing you Chris Hemsworth's numbers.
Right.
It's going to start pushing mine. Okay. So basically this means as a creator, you kind of want to make videos that tend to give where these numbers stay similar, right? Because for your target audience, those are going to give you the highest numbers.
Right.
You want to keep these numbers similar for each one of the videos because that is the numbers that your viewers like.
Oh, I see. So basically, I need to copy my friends. Can I say that? Or am I 100% wrong?
In a way, yes. So basically what you want is if you see another successful JVlogger, you want to be able for your videos to give similar numbers as they, because then you'll be able to get that same audience. So let's just say an example. I suddenly start to make anime music videos. Those are going to have completely different numbers, and my audience, well, the YouTube algorithm doesn't know what the numbers of each video is before it gets like tons of views. My videos don't get a lot of views. So what the YouTube algorithm does, it based on my previous videos, if I said I have 2 J-vlogs, it's going to assume it's going to be a J-vlog again. And then it shows it to a J-vlogging audience. But a J-vlogging audience isn't going to like a movie trailer, for example, right?
Right.
So what's going to happen? What is going to happen? The algorithm is going to rate the video poorly.
Right.
And then it will think, oh, you know what? I think I have it's what it's going to think. It's going to think it's a bad video.
Okay.
It's going to think it's a bad video, because it might not be a bad video. It might be like a really good makeup tutorial that you did, but it's going to be shown to your audience, to your J-vlogging audience.
Mm-hmm.
And
nobody's going to watch it.
And they're not going to like it, and the YouTube algorithm is going to say this video is bad. And they're never going to show it to an actual audience that might actually like that. So what I'm trying to say here, you have to stay within your niche. You have to stay at a certain thing and stick with that, because that is what is going to drive your viewers.
AKA, this is quote unquote machine learning. Is that right?
Exactly, because the machine kind of can determine this automatically. And that is basically the segue into, because you kind of want to always keep those numbers matched up, because YouTube algorithm is going to assume your video is like your previous one as a TikTok algorithm. It's going to keep sending it to the same audience. You need to send your audience something they will like, and what they like is the kind of videos that they did before. So what I'm saying here is stick within your niche. Okay. Don't diverge from, don't make put too much variety into your videos.
Okay.
And I mean, we're doing J-vlogging content, right? That sticks within J-vlogging. That's good. I mean,
right, because I've pivoted into like podcasting now, because I used to do like J-vlogging content, like here's me going to the conveni and I'm having, gotti coon, and it's just like I have no interest in doing that anymore. So I mean, I guess my numbers have been slower and they haven't been as good, quote unquote, and I guess that makes sense from what you're
because right now the machine learning might still think you're in the J-vlogging kind of part, still sends it to a more kind of J-vlogging orientated audience. But now, as over time, the idea is YouTube algorithm, or the algorithm in general, should learn that you're pivoting towards podcasting, and the people who like podcasting are the ones who are going to stick around. And it's going to take a while for YouTube algorithm not to think your videos are good, but they are a different target audience, and it's going to stick a while. And what I'm saying here is, if you want to do something on TikTok or on YouTube, try to stay specific to something. It's because otherwise YouTube algorithm is going to think your videos are bad, even though they might not be.
Right.
And the same for TikTok. People are saying, all the content advice givers say, stay within your niche. That's exactly why it works, because you want to stick to the same numbers.
Huh. Actually, that's some good advice there. Stay within your niche. I think that'll be the title of the show.
It's basically, if you want to start doing TikTok, I just want to give 2 pieces of advice. Have fun doing it and stick to your niche. Don't do too much varied content. At the start, don't worry too much about it. Try to experiment a little bit, but then stick within your niche and try to find ways how you can make things work with your niche. And I think that's like a little bit of a mistake I did, because after I left Japan, for a while I did content on Germany, and I went on a cruise, and I think that is something that has hurt my channel. That has now hurt my channel.
Right.
I even did a video essay, and I also think that it hurt my channel a little bit, because it brought kind of those video essays. I made one video that was quite successful on Japanese cities, but it kind of attracted a not Japan-affine audience, but a kind of more city design and knowledge-based audience. And those are not going to be the guys who like vloggings.
Right.
So for me, that is the focus that I've been doing recently.
So is this where, like, it's funny because you watched my Mayday-san interview, right? You remember that one, right? Yeah. And I asked him in that interview, I said, why do you have like 5 different channels? And do you remember his response?
Yeah.
What was it?
Not quite, but I think I know kind of what he's going to.
No, it was much more vulgar than that. He said, because I'm a pussy. That's what he said.
Yeah. I like how his responses, they're great.
No, because I was thinking, going with this logic, that having this machine learning, where you separate the content and the right ones, where it's like sometimes like I want to talk about video games, right? But you're fitting with your I guess machine learning philosophy. What should I call it?
Yeah, just call it machine learning.
Rhetoric? I don't know.
Yeah.
Going with that theory, or I guess law. I don't know what you want to call it. Anyway, point is, going with that piece of information. It sounds like if I wanted to make something on because I've been really addicted to playing on this Twitch channel. I've been playing Makai Mura, or Ghouls and Ghosts, or Ghosts and Goblins, and it's not. That's like video games. It's not really Japan stuff. I'm not going outside. I'm not filming Japan. I mean, it's a Japanese video game, but it's kind of a stretch. So, pretty much based on this information, you're pretty much saying that I should probably separate content if I'm going to want to do something else and just work from the very beginning.
It depends. The thing is, you can't spread yourself too thin either. If you do only put a little bit into each one, it might be worse than just putting everything into one kind of content. So the thing is, I can't tell you how the algorithm exactly work or what to work for everyone. I can only tell you the basic maths on the algorithm and the kind of ways it works. I can't tell you because there are so many more factors that take a play. Because what is your plan, to separate your Twitch channel now?
No. I'm actually, my plan right now is I was going to start a whole other podcast because if you listen to my other episode with Rami Michaels, where he talks about his book, there's nothing about Japan in there. There's nothing about Japan. He's a writer in Japan, but he wrote one story about Japan. And that's it. And I'm thinking to myself, this is not about Japan. This is about being, this show is about being in Japan and being creative and how you do your craft and quote unquote and all the people you meet in Japan. Maybe the terminology for the show is kind of vague, but the other thing was I wanted to make this separate podcast, in case I want to make something that's not about Japan, quote unquote. If I want to talk about Rick and Morty, or if I want to talk about something that's completely unrelated,
Well, in that case, you it's of course great to say, you know what, I focus on this channel and on that channel, but you might end up spreading yourself too thin. That might be another issue.
Right.
If you spread yourself so thin, people are gonna forget about you very quickly. And I think there are a few people who do that. They have multiple channels and don't really maintain one really well. I think this multiple channels thing is fine, but as long as you have your one main channel that you put proper maintenance in, then sure, go and make a second channel. That would be my recommendation. But focus on your main channel, and if you do want to make content that is a bit outside of your realm, try to add a little bit of elements in it, or try to say why it's related. Example, I made a video in Korea. I'm really proud of that video. And I have the fear that people might not be interested in that if they're only interested in Japan.
Right,
so what I did is I said, you know what, I'm going to go deep dive into the difference between Korea and Japan. And now it's related to Japan again.
So you kind of have to shoehorn in the Japan element. Yeah, I've been doing that too.
It depends. Yeah, I think if you have to stay interested, you have to stay within your niche. And if you want to delve outside of it, you have to, in a way, kind of take your niche with you there. And in that case, I literally see these numbers every day. That's literally my job. And that is how also the YouTube algorithm will work. Even Google. And Google made a paper about this. Not the, what's it called? I have a pretty good idea that YouTube uses this because they use a similar system for the Play Store. And they made a paper on that, and they exactly described this. They exactly described this kind of set. So, and they even said their models aren't better than others, they just have more data. So yes.
Okay then, that's about all for today. You're out of here! No, I'm joking. I'll pull out the cane and we pull you out. No, I'm joking.
Wrong rate.
All right, so next week on the show is I think it's gonna be a solo episode. I don't know. I've been in talks with a bunch of people about getting new interviews set up, but maybe it might be a solo episode where I talk about the top 10 5 Japan podcasts, or about how Japanese
Number
films
one,
are cringe.
Radri. Number two, Radri.
No.
Number three, the Radri. Like,
Well, that's kind of
seriously,
like
guys. Seriously, guys. Watch me. Don't bother with anything else.
and then just play the credits at the end. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
No, I mean ones that I feel like I could use as like a podcaster, how I could improve the podcast. Those will be the top 5, the ones that I think, ones that will help me produce better podcast content, I suppose. The other one will be about why are Japanese, or what is it? Why are Hollywood films so cringe? I don't know. I'm working on it. Work in progress. So
Yeah. Go and as long as you enjoy it, go for it.
yeah. So until then, I'm Radri and
Nico.
hey Nico.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.